And I invite you, take a deep breath as you're entering. And on your second deep breath, just think of all the good times you've had in the temple. And on your third deep breath, try to set a more powerful, positive intention than you've ever set before. Maybe you could do something similar in your moment with the enlightened being. So, welcome everybody. Let's just start by setting our intention today. The last couple of sessions we had some people come and share some hardships, some pretty intense hardships. And while I think the support and the care that the community showed and the encouragement that we made in that space was beautiful, we also had some people say that they came here for soothing and comfort, and those hardships really shook them up. So I wanted to set a theme for today, or an intention, that we can have this space as a place to come for you to put everything else aside and to practice your wisest, happiest, most peaceful self. And it's not just coming to temples. I've been to other sacred places where we're invited to be a saint as you enter. I've been to positive thinking workshops where they invite you to pose questions to yourself, like what's the optimal state of mind, or they feed you with positivity, whatever it takes. You'll give your power and enthusiasm, your energy. You've got the power within you. You've got the strength. Perhaps in this context, the idea of a fully conscious you, someone who chooses the most awesome reactions, the most wise way of being, the most beautiful feelings. These are all powerful prompts that we can give our mind, and being in an environment that supports that, being with people that give us a chance to practice that. I hope that this is a space where you get to practice your best self, to give it your creativity so it grows, so you're more naturally your peaceful, wise, blissful self in your day-to-day life. So Pops has just written on the live stream chat that they're here in the temple in spirit. Great to have you with us. For those of you who are new, I know I'm standing up here on the stage, but these sessions, they're for you. I want you to get the most out of them as possible. Any questions you have, any thing you're not sure about, anything you want me to really give evidence for or convince you of, please ask. If I say something that sounds far out, like choosing blissful states of mind, if that doesn't sound like doable, push back and help me get you to grasp that, to at least feel the possibility, if not meditate into it and experience it right now. So, as I said, setting the intention that today's session is for this to be an environment for your wisest, most wonderful self. Those of us who joined us who were having those particularly hard times, they're not here today. So if you're out there on the live stream, I just know that this is inspired for you, and that I hope, as well as having support and nurture through those difficulties, you also feel the love and encouragement of making a space for things to be better, for you to have peace and strength and calm. And even if life's great for each of you, I want to make a space for something even more wonderful. Envisage an even more powerful presence, greater confidence, expressiveness, deeper peace, more empowerment when you think of yourself and how you could be, broadening your perspective. Sure, meditation's good to relax. Do you apply it to make healthy food delicious? Do you apply it that anyone and everyone is interesting? Do you let yourself enjoy every kind of music? In the things that you do, are you visualizing being great at stuff? And when you notice yourself saying, oh, that's not me, or I'm not that kind of person, or I'm no good at that kind of thing, do you challenge yourself on that? Know that you are capable of whatever you set your mind to. So that's our intention for today. And with that intention set, we're now going to begin with our opening meditation. So I invite everybody to get comfortable. And my little baby's here with me, so I'm just going to set the intention that if you hear her, just use that as a chance to soothe yourself deeper. And likewise, if there's any noises around you, anytime your mind goes to them, you just bring yourself back into your own meditation a little more peacefully. So we can all start by getting our bodies comfortable. So let's check in with our body. Just notice where you're sitting, check your posture. And maybe make some little adjustments. Wiggle your hips, give your shoulders a roll. I see people stretching their necks. Maybe you want to stretch your fingers or your toes. And then bring your body into peace. Let the hands settle. Feel your feet and your knees settle. Take a deep breath down into your abdomen. Let the muscles around your core just relax. Take another deep breath into your lungs. Expand your lungs. Take another very deep breath and feel that expanding the muscles in your shoulders. And then letting them relax. As your awareness moves down through your arms, let them feel at peace. Become aware of the back of your head and your forehead. Feel your eyes. If they're not closed yet, I just invite you to imagine that they're heavy. Just let them let them go. This is a time for everything to just rest. Feel your jaw. Oh. Makes me want to stretch my jaw with a big open mouth. And then I let it come to rest. And then bring your attention onto your nose and feel the breath coming in and out. And each breath you take, let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself rest into the breath. While we're warming up, maybe each breath will make your body feel better. Or maybe each breath will just feel more still and present. Maybe you'll be noticing where your attention is. And if so, I invite you to craft how that feels so that it's soothing and strong. And as you keep focusing on the breath, feel yourself changing your state of mind. Maybe it's a gentle relaxation, a little more and a little more with each breath. Or maybe you're remembering the feeling of deep meditation, and each breath, it's just taking you more into that. Maybe the shift in consciousness will sneak up on you. You're just trying to breathe, and then suddenly you notice, yeah, I do feel different now. Or maybe you'll feel it like a wave as you just flow into stillness, expansiveness, bliss, power, presence. And whether it's peace or awareness or bliss or wonder, whatever you are cultivating right now, just feel that it's becoming more a part of you. You're having it right now, but it's also becoming more a part of you forever. And if you're in that bliss or that peace or that single pointed awareness, I invite you to keep guiding your own meditation. Keep making each moment more beautiful. Like one of the new AI language models, whatever you prompt with it, amazing things will come out of you. Explore the awesomeness within you. And if you're not feeling it, you're like, what on earth is he talking about? Now I'm going to be talking to you for a little bit. So the moments where you're trying to focus on the breath, but then you notice your mind's doing other things, that's great. I want you to celebrate that, like someone who's learning to balance in a yoga class, you're watching your mind just like someone who's balancing is watching their body. And treat each moment of awareness like a moment of finding how to let your mind be more still and centered. So on the next breath, try to just hear the breath like that's your whole world, just for one breath. And maybe for a part of that breath or all of that breath, your other thoughts just stopped for a moment and you were just hearing the breath. So I invite you to try and have a few more of those breaths where you just hear the breath with your whole mind and just watch as you let the thoughts have a rest. And now everyone can just imagine what it would feel like to go a little deeper into meditation. And wherever you're at in your meditation, I just invite everyone to consider this idea. Right now, I can choose what to put my attention on. And right now, perhaps I can choose how to make each moment feel. And definitely with practice, that choosing of the feeling and the attention can get more and more amazing and powerful. So now imagine a person in every moment they chose how they wanted to feel. And they chose feeling present, compassionate, comforting, empowering. Whatever situations came at them, they responded in a way that was centered and happy. And I want you to step into that person and just spend a little bit of time feeling, thinking, practicing that person. If you imagine the wisest mind that you could possibly conceive of, what kind of meditation or feelings or ideas would it take you into? Just like a little child could cry if they don't get enough peas on their plate. For you now, that wouldn't even be an issue. Imagine if all the issues that had plagued you, you just leveled up so much that all of them were just little moments to enjoy. If you stepped into a frame of consciousness that operated in perfect acceptance, perfect wisdom, and now for the last couple of minutes of this meditation, you're going to guide it for yourself. Perhaps you want to revisit the feelings that were most wonderful. I saw some of you, your body language just opening up to some profound experience you could remember as that washes through your body or mind. Perhaps there was an idea that seemed very important or powerful and you can revisit it. Perhaps there was an image or a way of being you're going to practice. So just guiding your own meditation, but frame it that the wisest, most awesome part of you will guide this meditation for you. Breathe deeper, more powerful breaths. And as we come out of the meditation, I want you to just think if there was any questions that you would have or anything you'd like to share, anything exciting that happened. Let's make this a really engaging experience where we help each other to be as enlightened, as empowered as possible. Imagine yourself sharing confidently, powerfully, happily. Imagine asking questions confidently, clearly, assertively. Imagine sharing your stories, guided by whatever feeling you want to share. And so as we're coming out of the meditation, let's just start by sharing anything positive. Could be just a feeling or an insight or an experience, an idea. Esoteric, you've got something you'd like to share?
Hi. Yeah. Thank you for the. Thank you for holding space. What? So I know it wasn't intentional. Well, no, I don't know. It might not have been. It might have been. But having your child, in the back, along with the audio is almost it's pretty genius, really, because so for example, I'm going through a lot of change right now, and last couple of weeks, it's just been really difficult. And that's kind of negative, but then it's moving house and that, and your child being present, like represents like a new birth, like a rebirth, a new, a new beginning. So that's what I took away from the session. Thank you.
Did you hear that, baby Raya? You are a genius meditation guide. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank you, Esoteric. I'm glad that it was a nice experience for you. Would anyone else like to share? You know, I'd love it even if you don't have anything profound or a complete thought to share. If you just wanted to say, I felt good or peaceful, that's great too. It's just nice to feel where everyone was at. Search engine?
I was trying to speak, my mic wasn't working. I was trying to say, I feel good, I feel peaceful. And I want to say, I admire your ability to be calm and collected, even, and still guide us through this meditation, even with an easy distraction. right in front of you.
So right now I'm cuddling her, and at one point I had to go across the room and get her, and then a little while I put her down. So yeah, thanks. Before we started, I imagined the kind of peace and calm that I wanted us all to experience, even with her here. And the secret's in the proof's in the pudding. I really believe what we envisage our mind to do, if we do it clearly enough, that's what we feel. So thank you. Blonde Dark Roast was next. Then you can go Black Art.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of go against the my personal vibe right now, but I was feeling really like I'm usually very talkative, but I was just feeling like I really wanted to just be really quiet after that meditation. And yeah.
Cool. Yeah, often after a meditation it's nice to just sit for a long time while we all kind of soak up and reflect. But I don't know where everyone's at in the world and in their VR temples and on the live stream. So yeah, if you just want to stay in that meditative chill, please, I'm happy to hear that you're feeling that. Black Heart.
Mainly when I was within the meditation and stuff, it felt like at first it was like almost like a void-ish, and then all of a sudden it seemed like a garden that just appeared out of nowhere.
Awesome.
It felt like I was surrounded by nature itself.
I'm interested. I know, sorry to interrupt, but so some people aren't very visual, some people aren't visual at all. Thinking and minded. I'm pretty much all visual. Even like words that I think I see them physically where I've written them before, etc. And during meditation, I wonder, do you ever get like do you ever have like the colours of the chakra? If you close your eyelids and you can keep seeing, that makes sense. If anyone knows. And you can kind of where I end up. Sorry.
Let me respond to that in a moment. Blackheart, was there anything else you wanted to share?
Nothing else, sir.
Cool. So, in response to the first thing you said, esoteric, yes, some people have much more vivid visual experiences. Some people claim they have no visual experience. My personal experience is when I first started meditating and trying to visualize things, I saw nothing, and I trained myself to be visual, and I trained every day, and eventually was having closing my eyes was just as vivid visually, or even more so than real life, because I had just painted in all the colors and made them more vibrant. I trained my brain to see the edges. You, at some point, remembered a word being written, and you've just kept thinking, cool, that's how I see words. And so you've really trained yourself to see the words from those physical experiences. Our minds, I would never say, you're a visual person. Maybe you might have a year where you just really focus on feeling, and then your meditations may be all wrapped up in feeling for a while. Not to say that's a good or a bad thing, it's just our minds and the strengths that we have at different times are always changing. And so if you're not visual at all and you hear people having visions, that's okay. I mean, you might have beautiful feelings just sweep across you, or it might not even be something so pronounced. Just a peace or an awareness might happen for you, and they're all just as great. And then as for seeing different colors, definitely people have those experiences. Sometimes as we're doing body scans, I love to include people's favorite colors, or make the colors feel warmer or happier or musical. And those kinds of imaginings can feel good for some people, or for many people. And as for different like spiritual, metaphysical things, my experience is if you read a bunch of literature from one certain thing, it'll feel real. But then if you go and read some other stuff for a while, that will feel real. I was at a point where I had like 700 different chakras and different deities happening, and then I realized I'd just brainwashed myself into hundreds of different methodologies. And so now I try to just craft whatever my creativity will take me. It's all just as valid. Or even step out of all that stuff and just be completely grounded. Like, I want to be conscious, and then I want to feel present and powerful and wonderful, and this is what's going on in my life. So how could I be as amazing as possible for that? And like visualize, rehearse that. Maybe it's helpful to imagine what a superhuman would do in these situations, or an enlightened being, or a being of light. Like, letting your imagination float a little can let you feel differently and see differently. That's why people like these esoteric things. It's a way to like step out of regular thinking and just let your creativity just go on different ways of being. So yeah, our minds and imaginations can be amazing, and depending what you do with it, it can have very different impacts on us. So I encourage people to keep it mostly grounded, and if you are imagining other things, still know that it's your consciousness and you can do anything you want with your consciousness. And if images arise, sometimes they can be awesome, sometimes it can just be a daydream. I wouldn't read too much into it. I'd just use them in whichever ways they help you. And one concern that I have with esoteric things or repeated religious things is I then, after I started applying like rationality and skepticism and realized that I just tricked myself into some of those things, many of those things I had to work to like decondition myself out of. So I don't want people to have to go through that. So I would always like encourage you to look through things through the lens of like rationality and skepticism. Yeah. And if you are going to play around with those ideas, I can't advocate for it, because even if you do it just pretending, the reason those ideas have spread through society is because they're framed in a way to trick people into thinking they're real. And so yeah, I think keep it real, bro. That's my deepest spiritual advice. Yeah.
See, it's really good to have that. So, like for me, the reason why I started my thing like esoteric student, the dictionary definition of the word esoteric isn't technically about religion or anything, you know, even not even old stuff, you know. For me, the areas that I look into is the fringes of science, experiments, data, you know. I'm not necessarily a traditional esoteric student.
Cool. Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, esoteric student mentioned seeing the colors of the chakras, and that's like different parts of your body, and depending on who you're talking to, the different points mean different things, and they're in different spots. Some schools will say, no, it's definitely like this, but then you go to another school and they'll tell you, oh, the points are here and here, they're different colors. But all of those different schools, if they go and do some meditation and they'll see colors moving through the points in their body, it makes them feel in a different state of mind. But the thing is, if we don't even mention chakras and we just imagine across our body, it also makes you go into a different state. So I guess that's where I got to the point of like having skepticism, like asking myself which parts of this are definitely true and which parts are perhaps just a construct around it. And then the stuff that was definitely true, like scanning your body makes you feel good, like those definitely true parts seem to be more powerful and a lot simpler. So that's why I'm an advocate for keeping it real. Hang on, I just got to get the baby out of these cables. Here we go, little baby. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I don't see it all over my body. I see it's like a circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an orb in front, behind my eyelids. It's just an orb, and usually it actually comes up with like audio and that kind of thing. You know, like chanting, etc.
So in some meditation communities, they encourage people not to share visualizations that happened. Like Blackheart saw a garden. Some places would say, hey, don't say that, because we don't want to be putting these ideas out, because next week everyone will be seeing a garden. And it's a valid concern, because, you know, if we all start to believe that the meditation has to take us to the sacred garden and we have to be planting the seeds and nurturing the seeds and ripping out the weeds, well, that's a beautiful metaphor. It's not going to be the optimal for all of us. And this orb and chanting is something that you've cultivated that's powerful. I would strongly encourage you to not be attached to that as a real thing. Like, I hope you're able to take the presence and the power of that experience and just have that, even without the orb or the idea of chakras. So if someone who's in a movement that thoroughly is against chakras, you'd still be able to guide them into a similar kind of experience. And same for anyone, any kind of spiritual or religious beliefs that you hold. I invite everybody to think, well, what's the actual good thing here that everyone could have, even if they didn't believe the same stuff as me? And let's fill the world with more of that awesome stuff. If everyone was doing their best to share their awesome in a way that you don't need to believe this or that, it's just, wow, I was filled with kindness. Or, whoa, I had this feeling of light and I was imagining all the beautiful singing in the world. Like, that's a nice thing that everyone can do, regardless of what they believe. Hang on, sorry. All right, Derek, I want to change the subject back to everybody else. Has anyone else got a moment from the meditation or a question that they'd like to share? Can I ask? I had this theme of your most enlightened self, the mindful version of you that could be peaceful, compassionate, welcoming in any situation, every situation. Can I just see like a little wave if you felt that a little bit, or a pretty big wave if you're like, yeah, that was good, or fist pumping if you were in tune with the infinite enlightened being of the universe. We got a bit of fist pumping, that makes me happy. Some waves, some jiggling, cool. So as we were just saying, the kind of ideas that we keep feeding ourselves seem more and more real. We could be meditating on the magical aardvark that lives inside all our hearts. And if we did that theme every week for a few months, we would all find that aardvark. And I don't know, maybe the magical aardvark is the most powerful concept we could be imagining. But I really like the idea of the wisest, most awesome version of you, this enlightened, blissful self. And I hope that is an idea that everyone can see. Actually, that's just a very strong practical thing. And so if you're feeling it a lot, please keep practicing it. If you're feeling it a little, please keep contemplating a really present, awesome version of you. Or even make it even better. Do you want to see yourself as Neo from the Matrix? Or do you want to see yourself as a Buddha? Or as a saint? Or as a global corporate CEO of optimal human consciousness? Like, take the ideas that you feel would help you blossom the most and keep feeling them, keep thinking of them daily, so that they become not just a nice idea, a wise, strong, compassionate me, but like a felt experience. A wise, compassionate, unshakable ocean of peace. That's who I am. Wow. Search engine, you have something to share or ask?
It kind of goes alongside with what you were just talking about, manifesting the kind of person I would want to be in my life. And with that, I've had like a bunch of ideas and a bunch of manifestations and that vision of what I would want to be a million times. And I keep running into this big roadblock of either a fear of failure or even a fear of risk, of injury or, possible death, and a bunch of things that tend to...
What? Are you visualizing yourself as like an Olympic snowboarder or something?
No, like an example, motorcycles. I really like motorcycles,
Okay.
But anytime I talk about it or I do any research upon that,
people I talk to about will always fill my head with, like motorcycle accidents or
injuries, such like that, and things like that will stop me, kind of make me afraid. Or just in general to like really get out there and put myself out there.
So,
'cause it's a scary world.
I definitely want to help you putting yourself out there. And I could give you the power to be the most wild, carefree motorcyclist. But I don't want to, because I don't want to put you at risk. I mean, if that really is your life calling, then the stuff I say can help you there. But I'm going to focus on the stuff that I'm actually behind. So you being really expressive, putting yourself out there. I noticed on my journey, sometimes I was like, why am I not achieving what I had been visualizing? And there's a lot of self-help literature out there that labels that as, it's fear of failure. And for a while, I just kind of took that on, or maybe that's what's happening. But on reflecting after a while, I was like, actually, I don't think I am scared of it not working. It's just, there's other reasons, like the things I was doing weren't as effective as needed, or the way that I was communicating or organizing needed to be better. So I would challenge you to reflect, are you actually visualizing failure, and is that making you scared? Or is that just an idea that somewhere has been put out? And then if you have been spending time visualizing how it will go wrong, this is a suggestion for everybody. Whether it's big goals or little goals or moment-to-moment interactions, we want to be practicing exactly what we want. So a very simple example relates to putting yourself out there. I spent years being very shy and thinking, if only I could just be myself and people could see what I was like. And that didn't help me. And when I finally learned like a technique for training straight to the result, it was like, okay, I have to imagine that I'm already completely relaxed and having a good time, and how good that would feel. And I did that every day, and I was like, this feels great. And then I was able to just get up in front of a crowd of people. So I encourage you, in whatever you're considering, try to think of it as, if you're going to be programming your brain, if you're going to be writing the scripts for yourself, rehearse exactly what you want to be and how good it would feel. Feeling how good it would feel, as if it's already true, it's kind of like this secret sauce, this nitro juice to really get your inner engines like in that zone. What were you going to say or ask?
I was gonna say about how, well, what if my mentality and my mindset doesn't match along with my physical being and feeling? Sometimes that'll be like my big roadblock of separating the two. I'll have the mindset and the will within my mind and the want within my mind, but then the physical feeling isn't matching with it, and which is what stops me.
Are you saying that you want to be a weightlifter or a gymnast, or are you talking about an emotion?
No, like an emotional, like procrastination kind of feeling, or a feeling of unmotivated to want to.
Totally. So rehearsing every day what it would feel like to be super motivated, even if you're not feeling it yet, if you try and do it every day, you'll get more and more glimpses of it. My other little one's just going wild on the door over there. You know, we're a community of awesome. Search engine's question. I've definitely covered this a bunch of times. What about if you are aiming for a feeling that's different to how you're feeling right now? Discuss. I'll be right back. I love you all.
I guess you gotta not exactly push what you want to feel on how you are, but you sort of, it's like fake it till you make it, but with your own feelings. It's like, oh, instead of saying I'm not motivated enough to get up and do this, you just say I am motivated. I am motivated, and you're laying there in bed. And you say,
I think the sorry, my audio just fucking died.
yeah, I was about to say your audio clipped.
Yeah. If you're visualizing what it would be like to be maybe like the best motorcycle mechanic or like something like that, but you're not getting the motivation, and yeah, fake the motivation. 100% agree.
Like, motivation isn't something you run out of. It's like a psychic. It's not, people don't just run out of it like that. If you have the mentality that you can run out of motivation, you'll run out of motivation. But if you're like, you can't run out of motivation.
Changing the tone, or maybe the sentences that I am telling myself.
Your
basically.
willpower can grow. Yeah,
Okay.
You change the sentences you tell you. Your willpower can grow. And it's going to grow more than what you have now. And then you'll be good. And it's going to keep growing.
I like that.
Like that.
Yeah.
Helps me anyway.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
His neck is breaking right now.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really-
Not gonna lie, 'cause it looks like me in the morning a little bit, not gonna lie.
I'm back. Here we go. What do I look like? Ugh. Okay.
You look better now.
Thank you. You look great too.
Hey.
All right. Cool. There's some people on the live stream. Peter says I have to look after the kitties. Wait, let me go back. Wow. Sorry, everyone out there on the live stream for skipping all of that. There's laughter. Thanks for the beautiful session, as always. Excited to launch and reach enlightenment. Peter said I had to go take care of the kitties. Yeah. Cool. All right, everyone out there is just laughing. Cool. It's good to have you guys here. Let me get back on the seat. All right, so what did I hear? You can grow that willpower. you can grow that feeling. Absolutely. There's probably been some projects or times in your life when you were really in the zone or really motivated and you just like wanted to get onto the thing you're doing. This can be a good mental hack for everybody, whether it's about motivation or relaxation or feeling at ease. If you remember a time where you were like that and you just keep thinking about that each day, not framing it as like, oh, one day I was like that, but like, oh, this is what that feels like. I remember what it's like to dive into this thing, or I remember what it felt like to feel loved and supported so everything was okay, or I remember what it was like when I was excited and I walked into a party and it was like, hey, and everyone had a good time. Like remembering those positive states strengthens them. It's like a shortcut. Instead of having to visualize it 100 times to create it in your brain, you've got a way to get straight there. Peter on the live chat says, wild, but that feelings are entirely programmable. Yeah, Peter, I didn't know that. And when I realized that that's how our consciousness was, I was like, this is such a profound insight that everyone in the world deserves to know. Because when you know that you can reprogram your feelings, it's a completely different approach. Like so often people are like, oh, I'm just going to be controlled by my feelings. But no, you can actually craft and shape your feelings. And when you shape how you feel, then it kind of, your autopilot takes you in a different direction. Peter also said you can do the same with pain. You can train your mind to feel at pain when you're doing things you're not supposed to. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily advocate for cultivating more pain, but that's definitely true. You can cultivate... I used to smoke cigarettes, and I trained myself that they were disgusting. My original coach was like, hey, I'm not going to tell you to smoke or not, but if you choose not to, every day just imagine that they're gross. It's like licking an ashtray. You love that you're now full of energy and can run upstairs. And every day I visualized that, and a month later, they were gross. And then Peter says they used to hate working out, and now it's their favorite thing in the world. Yeah, I'm thinking of that Arnold Schwarzenegger quote. Yeah. So, search engine. Cultivating the willpower. Remembering times that you've been into it. Thinking about, this is more of a Tony Robbins approach, the thing that you're motivated for, this visualization of like what you want to achieve. Imagine how good it's going to feel when you've done it and you look back and you're like, wow, I've got that. Or maybe you've like leveled up your life. Maybe you want to get into a course or get a job or move to a different place. Like when you've changed your life in that way, like let yourself get excited about that often, and that can then in your mind be connected to the motivation. Many people achieve a goal and then they're like, oh, well, that's it. Now what? But our brains are programmable. If they haven't been programming that it's exciting and positive, they'll get there and they'll be like, okay. But if you are like pumping yourself up about it, when you get there and then you intentionally celebrate it, then you get to feel great. And then you got to set your next goal or decide to intentionally enjoy where you're at for a while. Other things that can help with motivation around meditation can definitely be coming to the temple and meditating with people. Motivation around working is maybe find a co-founder of your project or build a team or go to some co-working sessions with people who like to motivate each other on their own things. Get some study buddies. Another thing that can be really great is get some images of the success you're building and put them up on posters around where you are, or make them the screensaver on your devices. Another great tip is each morning write down the 6 things that are most important that you're going to do today, and do them one at a time. Cross them off. If you do all 6, excellent. Chill out. Have just a fun, relaxed day. If you only do 3 of them, awesome. You did 3 of the most important things that you might not have done otherwise. So you notice that this is just a straight up practical thing. In the morning, write down 6 things and do it. Sometimes just practical changes to your approach are more powerful than any kind of meditations. Search engine, I'd love to hear your thoughts, responses to what other people shared or what I shared.
I like everything that I have heard. They are wonderful tips that I have taken account of that I probably will try. I enjoyed Clax's
Whole fake it till you make it, and I
kind of, not necessarily fake it till you make it, but change my narrative in
the way I talk to myself.
I've been also trying to teach myself more about not just enjoying the result, but falling in love with also the process that comes along with it.
I mean, that feeling of being focused and in the zone, and like you're creating something or you're getting better at something, it's so good. It's just so alive and engaged. I love it. One way that I like to frame fake it till you make it is to imagine that I'm actually retraining who I am. So there's some part of me that can do it right now. So I'm just giving that part the focus and the attention that it deserves. And that's actually like the theme for today. My intention was, hey, there's an enlightened being inside of you. There's a blissful, tranquil, unshakable, infinitely compassionate you. And I want you to fake it till you make it. I want you to like step into that part of you and be that and grow that every day in every way, in everything that you can. So yeah, some people find that talking about their goals is helpful. So if you ever feel like sharing what you're working on and what you're creating, that'd be awesome.
Come in here.
Oh, look, I'm in this class now. Oh, he wants me to go and play VR mini golf. Neo, we're getting enlightened.
We don't do it.
Please don't do it. Oh. Does anyone want to tell Neo why getting enlightened is important?
It's relaxing.
It's relaxing.
Good for self-development. Self-development and involvement. I feel like it's a big helper and step.
To meditate on wisdom as well.
What'd you say, Blackheart?
To meditate on wisdom as well.
Yeah. Share us some of the wisdom you love.
Oh boy, you just handed him the mic. Here he goes.
Don't hand me the mic, because I go on a long crusade on that. I am good.
A little bit.
So give them your wiser self, Neo.
This is the first one I took you to. Want to share how
Thank
you feel
babe.
about it?
I feel really relaxed. My legs went numb for a bit though.
yeah.
I didn't mind that though. I didn't mind it. Kind of looks like he's like about to like a little sneak attack. I don't know why.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi! Hello.
Hi.
The avatar's head's turning a full 360.
What
It's kind
are you doing?
We're getting enlightened.
What
Right,
on
the cat
earth?
I don't know why.
Alright, Neo. It's set up in your room. You can go play. All right. I hope that was entertaining, everybody. Welcome to my life.
Your avatar's head was like full 360 spinning around.
Yeah.
And hearing the child's voice absolutely terrified me, but was adorable at the same time.
What are you doing? All right. So, to wrap up and what Search Engine was asking about, visualizing and creating your best self, I encourage you to rehearse what it would feel like to be easily and wonderfully in the state of mind you want. Visualize how you'd be acting and how great it would feel. And not just how great it would feel, you create how good it would feel. Crank up the excitement, crank up the focus. Just train yourself that that's amazing. Yeah. And same for everybody. If you want to be more confident, visualize being confident. If you want to have more amazing meditations, visualize the most beautiful meditations. If you notice that your mind does a certain thing in meditation, visualize that you just completely have the power to make it do what you would feel would be better. If you want to exercise more, imagine exercising and loving it, full of enthusiasm. If you want to like salad, just tell yourself every day, I love salad. Salad's so good. I love it. Oh my God. Have you had a good salad? Like a really good salad is so good. So, like whatever it is, you be the artist, the architect of your mind. Program yourself awesomely, because massive change is possible if you play with awesome visualizations and beautiful feelings. So thanks for that question, Search Engine. Would anyone else like to share or ask? Actually, I want to say, like, Search Engine took a question that was like, hey, I'm having trouble with this thing. And I love those kind of questions. Keep it real. You know, of everything we've talked about tonight, whatever you're like skeptical of or think will be a roadblock for you, ask about it right now. Or whatever has inspired you, share it, and try and share it in a way that will help the other people feel it. Search Engine.
I know I've asked like a lot of questions today. I'm so sorry.
I love it. No, I love it. Please don't ever apologize.
Oh.
Everyone, be like Search Engine.
Well, I was wondering if I could have like any kind of, talk either from you or anybody here, because I know a lot of people are older here. I am younger, and I'm about to be, within maybe the next couple months, both considered an adult and also graduated, going into adulthood and such, a next chapter in my life. And it's kind of been terrifying coming to that realization within myself. Kind of been having a weird existential crisis about it for quite a while, most of this year. And I don't know how to go about it, or if anybody has any advice, or you have any advice about going into this next part of my life.
It sounds like whoever's framed it like that for you framed it in a way that is more intense than it is. Sure, you won't be in school or wherever you are, but you'll have more options to choose from. I mean, I could give a whole diatribe on what it is to live. But yeah.
Just more emotional support about how I could maybe
calm myself.
Nothing's gonna change.
That.
You're just gonna be older. You won't feel any different. You just
pretty much.
Slap another number on your age. That's it.
The world likes to paint it like it's such like a big deal. At least the surroundings around me have been screaming at me that it's such a big deal, and I keep being asked repeatedly what I'm gonna do with my life.
Well, some people paint it like that, and some people paint it like, hey, it's just another year. Some people paint it like, hey, the next big thing is when you got kids. From now until then, just enjoy it. Oh, look out for the baby with the headset. There we go. So yeah, opportunities abound. You can apply for different jobs. You could go traveling, perhaps. I've traveled the world many times, and each time I get to a new city, it's a new opportunity to meet new people, to figure out how I'm going to make things work, to build the community that I'm going to have. And every time, sure, it could be daunting, but if you choose to make it exciting, then you're going to do more things that make your life exciting.
I think something's unloaded.
Yeah, Mama can do with it. So I guess I would invite you to frame it or to imagine it in a way that you would like to. How do you want to approach life? You know, do you want to be excited about jobs? Do you want to be excited about your own schedule? Do you want to be excited about I mean, I don't want to tell you what your life's like. I want you to imagine how you want to imagine life and get excited about it. Get enthusiastic about it. Get curious about it. And if you're focusing on those feelings, then the other feelings won't have space.
Is it okay not to know?
Absolutely.
Right now?
Yeah, I mean, the people who, there's all these famous quotes from some of the most creative, famous people. People asked me what I wanted to do when I was a teenager. Some of the most interesting people I know didn't know what they wanted to do in their 30s, and the most interesting people still didn't know in their 50s. So, in one sense, if you're going to get a job, it's good to go for it. If you think you're going to have a family sometime, planning to not leave that to the last minute and strategizing success and the kind of community that you want to have early is probably a good thing. Has anyone else got any life advice?
I would say probably the best thing... Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
I'd probably say the best thing, really, when, the situation of, growing up. I think that the best steps are take it slow. Take a deep breath in, and take a deep breath out. I would say, don't let things pile up in your head, like worry or anxiety. Rather, just take it one step at a time. That's all I have.
It's great advice.
You tell me that a million times.
Well, I think you would listen.
But if you really do that and just okay, what's the next step I want to do right now? It's a much easier question. And if you keep asking yourself that question, you can build momentum. Yeah. Perhaps we can chat after about what you're thinking career-wise or study-wise or life-wise. But yeah, I especially want to encourage you that life is fun. If you make plans and you go for big things, you'll probably have cool stuff happen. if you take it easy, things will probably be okay. I don't know. Living in America, it seems like you have to. Yeah, I don't know. Let's talk afterwards.
Thank you.
Magnificent.
Oh, no, I saw something flashing behind me and I was trying to see if I could fix it.
Search engine, something you might want to do is people you know or that you know of, that you think their life's interesting. Just ask them, hey, how did you get where you're going? Tell me some tips. And you ask enough interesting people, and then you'll have a bunch of ideas. And those ideas will carry you forward. And that could be friends, relatives, people in your community. It could also be a leader in a field you're interested in, or a famous person. You could write to them, and if you write in a way that's honest and open, there's a chance they'll write back, or they'll respond to you in some way. And the world's exciting. You know, there's countless opportunities, things to do, things to learn, things to create. And I hope you can imagine all kinds of awesome things you'd like to do, and then narrow down the ones that seem even more exciting, and then narrow down some more. And it's probably better to pick something and give it a go for a while, and then you can know, yes, I love this, or then you can change to something else. I left my job last week with the intention to really figure out how I best want to make the world a more enlightened place. And so these last few days has been me doing different things and exploring. So it's a new beginning for me right now as well. So I can relate to what you're saying as like, what do we do? What's the question? What's the focus that we should be having? And there isn't a great answer. Many different people and different perspectives will say different things. So you've got to hear a lot of those different perspectives and decide for yourself which one you want to try. But in regard to your question, the emotional support, whatever you're going to try, do it with excitement, curiosity, and enthusiasm. And be careful on motorbikes, they're dangerous. All right, next question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me check the time. Almost time for our closing meditation. Let me just round back to the theme I was going for today. That coming to the temple is a chance to be an enlightened being. There are some temples where you go and everyone dresses like they're a monk or a nun. It's like we create a vibe where everyone is stepping into their holy self, whatever that means. And it creates this environment where people are more patient, people are more caring. I want to encourage you something even bigger than that. Whenever you come here, imagine your most enlightened self and come and practice being that. Feel into that. Meditate from that place. If you have hard questions, maybe your enlightened self will just look at that part of you and be like, hey, actually I've already solved it. And yeah, there's always space for these trickier questions, but I hope that you're coming from this place that's fully empowered, that's a mountain of unshakable strength, an ocean of peace and equanimity, there's infinite love for all beings. And I hope you spend more time in that part of you every day. All right, shall we begin our closing meditation? I feel like inviting us all to bring our hands to our hearts. If that feels okay for you, please do. And we're going to close our eyes and just nod your head a little, maybe rock backwards and forwards a little bit, and give yourself a smile and just say to yourself, yes, there's a strength inside of me, there's enthusiasm, there's creativity, there's confidence, there's expressiveness, there's peace and beauty and wonder. I give these parts of me the chance to be felt and be practiced every day. Moving from where my state of mind was to a massively enlightened state of mind, it takes energy. And I want to give it that energy. I want to give it that power. It's worth it. It's so worth it. Moving through life with ease and bliss, being able to respond to every situation in a way that's just calm and wise. It's so worth it. It's so beautiful. I want to give this part of me time to be beautifully felt every day. Imagine you've completely changed how you think about your own mind and your own feelings. Any thoughts or feelings that were there, you just see them differently. That's just stuff that was there. Instead of being in them, you're out of them. You just observe them. What feelings do I choose? What do I choose to practice? I am fully present and fully awake right now. And right now, I'm always choosing and practicing. I throw in bliss, I throw in tranquility, I throw in happiness, I throw in focus and excitement. I throw in whatever I want. I craft myself. Imagine bringing yourself back into that focus and that power as many times as you need throughout the day. More and more you're becoming a champion of peace and comfort and insight and wisdom to those around you. Step into that. We're going to finish our session with a dedication. Any ideas that you see the value of from today, dedicate to keep practicing them, visiting them in your mind, thinking about them, rehearsing them, as much as they deserve. Any nice feelings or perspectives that you glimpsed or that you cultivated today, you'll keep feeling them and growing them as a gift to yourself. The insight of changing your state of mind, faking it till you make it, brain programming, can change the world. Give it the time and the practice to make it contagious for others. Make it awesome for yourself. So if you'd like to stay in meditation for a little bit longer, feel free. Thank you all so much for being here, and I hope to see you all again.